Well, it is turning out to be a pretty long weekend. Had a lot of videos set up, but got a little bit busy. Now, I have been working on my custom scarecrow from the Last Night on Earth wave. Have a little bit more work to do, and then I'll be able to make the video, adding some cool accents and a little bit of flavor to that figure. And then I still need to open up my Kickstarter spawns from McFarlane. So I'll try to get some of that stuff done and get the videos out. But first, what up? Welcome back to the Necro Zoo. I am Bones, and in this one, we're going to take a look at the next figure that I will be adding to my McFarlane DC Multiverse collection. Now, I did receive this about Wednesday, so I could have done the video a little bit sooner, but I've been kind of busy, so really anticipating this one. I am a big Batman Beyond fan, so we're gonna go ahead and take a look at this guy. Now, I have been seeing different reviews and some nitpicks that people have, and then I'll go ahead and take a look at it and give my own thoughts. But in the package, he does look pretty cool. He does come with a build-a-piece for another figure. So let's go ahead and take a look at him. Now, of course, he does come with his usual black DC Multiverse stand. Now, it is not needed, but it is useful if you need it. Then he also comes with the classic data file card. Now, they did do something different, which is they usually have artwork from like the comics or comic covers that they want to use, but this time it looks like they just did a little photo shoot with the figures, and that's the photo that they went with. Now, I know that the design for this Batman Beyond is leaned a little bit more towards the comics, even though I am more of like the animated TV show. That was like my favorite thing. But the comics are okay, so we'll go ahead and check it out. Now, on the back, you do have some information about Terry McGinnis, which is pretty awesome. Add that to the collection. Now, he does come with two batarangs. Now, these are really designed from the animated series and the comics. It looks really accurate. Some of the ones we've had before have not been so good, but they have cool detailing on them. There is two, and at first sight they might look kind of big, but they do fit in the hands pretty cool, so those are cool. He does come with two alternate hands, which look more like trigger hands, and I guess these were for the batarangs to sit in, but I'm not so sure if I'll switch these out or I'll leave the ones that he comes with. We'll take a look at that later on. And of course, he does come with the collect figure of Batman and Joker, kind of like cyborg hybrid. This is from the storyline Future's End. Not too familiar with it, but this design looks pretty cool. So anticipating the collective to build figure, not too much, but we'll see how it looks. Looks really like or tech noir kind of like looking figures, so we'll check it out. Now, this does come with these two shoulder butterfly little like circular joints that they have. They will fall out of the package. I did hear somebody crying online saying that these figures are going to be released every 2 months, so it's going to be half a year before I get the figure built, so what am I supposed to do with these? Like, I'm gonna lose them. Pretty much crying. Needs to go home and get lotion on his butt from his mama. But basically, I have these things. This is pretty simple. We'll put them in there until it's time to use them. I'm not gonna cry about it. So, pretty awesome looking collector build. We'll check it out once it's time. Eventually, we'll put that figure together. We will be seeing the rest of the figures from the line, which will be Shriek, Batwoman Beyond, and of course, Blythe. Now, taking a look at the figure, let's go ahead. Now, I did have my reserves before I had this in my hand. But as usual, I will take my own look at it and see what's going on here. So basically, you have a pretty cool, awesome Batman Beyond figure. The style, the sleekness of it. There is some things that I do not like, but for the most part, this is probably going to be one of my new favorite figures. I mean, that usually happens with me, is once I get it in my hands and I start messing with it and looking at it, it's just really hard not to like these figures. So let's start with the head sculpt. Now this will differentiate from the second release. That's going to be a single release where he has the boot jets, because in this one he has like a covered mouth, which I think is more from the comics than anything. But really like the head sculpt. Has little things that you would not really see right away, that you have to see the attention to detail in this. Actually, he looks really high up and really down, which is, I'm not sure if this is going to be a new thing with the McFarlane figures, or they're just did it for this figure only, but I like it. You could tilt them, get a lot of cool character when you move the head around. So I'm really digging that head sculpt. In fact, I might like this one a lot more than the next one, because the next one you'll be able to see the mouth and the nose, which is more accurate to the TV show and the comics. But you know what? They really should have showed him like baring his teeth, like grimacing. I think that would have been a lot better, because as it is, he just has like a stale look on his face. So I think I'd be more excited for it if he had his teeth showing, but we'll see when we open up that figure. Now, this was a Target exclusive, so I'm not sure how long it will take to get these on the secondary market for a good price, but now that I have my own, I could wait out until the prices start dropping on those, because I will probably need at least one more, but you never know, I might pick up two more, because I don't have a lot of plans to customize this guy. But you never know, I might decide to do it, because like I said, there is some things that I would like to change if I got a chance to. So let's take a look at the chest emblem. Now, I also heard a lot of complaining that, oh, it's not set on straight, oh, there's glue like on the edges that you could see, and I don't know if I'm just lucky or the plastic toy gods are looking down on me, but my emblem is pristine. It is perfect. There's no defects at all. It sets right center in the middle. Awesome, beautiful, sculpted out emblem. I love McFarlane, the way he does these sculpted out emblems instead of just painting them on. And actually, there's a lot of hidden sculpt work in this figure that we're going to take a look at. Now, coming down, of course, you have that waist articulation that McFarlane usually gives us. You can rock them to the sides and twist and turn them, and you don't really break up the sculpt. Now, actually, as well, on the obliques on the side and the serrated rib muscles, you really see them well sculpted in. It looks awesome. Definitely some nice sculpt work here. Now, as for the arms, of course, you do have the butterfly joint in the shoulder. These are a little bit more slender arms, but that's right. That's how they should be. He does have double jointed elbows. He does have that ball articulation that works out pretty good. And actually this wrist, you cannot see it, it's really transitions well from the gauntlets into the hand because the ball is so small. It's pretty cool. The gauntlets are also really sculpted well. Now what I really like about this is the hands, especially the right hand. I just love like clawed, gnarled out hands. I really like the infected Superman hands. The hands they gave us are just awesome. Now these ones are clawed because that does happen in the show and in the comic. He like flicks out his blades on like his claws on his hands so he could like dig into walls and stuff like that. And I do prefer these hands to the other pistol grip hands that they gave us, so I might end up just leaving these and putting the batarangs in these hands because actually they do pretty much fit in there. A little bit loose, but you could get it to where it locks in, and I just prefer these hands. They are just awesome. Really digging those hand sculpts. Now let's go ahead and move down. The belt is awesome. Now traditionally Batman Beyond has an all silver belt with just the red circle in the middle, but I really like the accent on this. Any different paint that McFarlane can give us is really cool because sometimes the figures are lacking detail paint, and that's just awesome that they put that little contrast of the red and the silver in there. Now moving down to the legs, he does have some cool muscle tone sculpted into his legs even though they are thinner legs. And he also does definitely have a little bit of thigh swivel that does have good range, so that's cool. Twisting it out and moving to the knees, we do have double jointed knees. And moving down, now a lot of people are pretty mad about these ball joints on the ankles because they're kind of a little bit large. Now you could look for a smaller one, like maybe from the Omega figure, and switch them out. That way you could reduce the size of the ball and it won't be so, you know, sticking out. But I tell you one thing that they did get right, and that is the actual boots. Because if you ever see images of the TV show or the comics, he has like some kind of like really narrow pointy boots. And in a lot of the older Batman Beyond renditions, they just give him like regular flat rounded out boots, like a regular superhero style boot, when actually they are supposed to be like pointy like this. So I thought that was pretty cool. Now moving to the back, before we look at the wings, let's go ahead and look at them from the bottom. He does have some cool sculpted detail on the bottom, like portholes for like thrusters and a little bit of tread. And then moving to the back, pretty much just a sleek sculpt work going up to the back. Now let's go ahead and look at the wings. Now off the bat, there is something wrong, and that is that in all the animated show and the comics, everybody knows that the wings in the back should be black, and they are red from underneath, from the inside. So that's a little bit bad. I mean, of course I am going to eventually custom either this one or the other, the single pack release one, and I will be painting the wings black. But that is kind of sad. And also number two, that the wings are not easily removable, because of course you can heat this up and they will just pop out. They do have a big gaping hole in the back, but I mean, it just depends how you're going to display it. I'm really tempted to get an extra one of these, to have one with the wings and one with no wings, but we'll see how it goes. I'm not exactly sure, because then I would have to paint one of the ones with the wings black, so I have to figure out which way I'd like to go with that. But of course, as always, customizing and repainting, and that's as open to whatever we want to do as collectors and customizers. So they do have these notches inside the wings where you could put these stub outs that he has on his gauntlets and stick them inside. That way when you move the arms, the wings will flow with it, and these just pop right in there. Pretty cool little addition. I could have done without it, but it's cool. I mean, pretty helpful in displaying the figure in certain poses. Now, you can move these straight down to where almost they're not even visible, and then start popping them out, and they actually do move pretty far up. Like, I like this look here. Looks pretty cool with them like pretty much almost completely raised up. Pretty striking image there of Batman. And then you could, if you wanted, you could move them all the way up. But okay, so happy with the wings, just not happy with the color on the back and the fact that they're not easily removable, but you can remove them with a little bit of heat. So pretty much you could stylize this guy and take some pretty cool pictures, I could tell you that much. I will be interested to see the single release one that we'll be getting later on, and comparing them and then mixing out parts and taking off wings. So that's going to be a lot of fun. He is keeping it rolling for McFarlane. Pretty cool. Like I said before, at first you're not sure how it's going to be until you get it in hand and can actually see it and feel it and play with it, and that'll really tell you if you dig the figure or not. Now, I do have my other Batman Beyond, starting off with the first DC Universe Classics that was released, which was a mass version, but he was baring his teeth, which is a better look, I feel. But they did not give us wings, and he has a really high glossy paint job, so that one was okay, but he's still one of my favorite DC Classics figures. The Batarang, they didn't paint it comic accurate, it was just silver, but it does look pretty cool and stylized. Then we had the unmasked Terry McGinnis. Pretty awesome that they gave him that cowl that he could hold in his hand. Pretty cool. The only nitpick I had about these figures is that Terry McGinnis is a slender teenager character, and they put him on the bigger Batman buck. So it's cool for what it is. I love those figures, don't get me wrong. But back then, we know no figure is exactly perfect, or it's really rare to get a perfect figure. And then Mattel had their chance, and they gave us this closed mouth version. Now these figures were really beautiful because there's no pins in this figure, in the elbows and the knees, and I still love that. And they did give us finally wings with the figure that were removable. They didn't paint the back, but I did, so I fixed that myself. But I do love this grimacing look for him, baring his teeth. It looks pretty awesome. And then of course I have my custom Batman Beyond that is the body of the DC Universe Classics, but it is the head of the Mattel, the Multiverse one. But I do have the other head, so I could switch in between the two. It does not matter. He does have a Batarang that is the silver one, but I painted it to be more accurate. And then I did add these wings that are adjustable, and he is a pretty nice addition to my collection. But anyways, guys, that's the Batman Beyond Target exclusive with the covered mouth. We will be getting the other one, so it'll be awesome to see that once it comes out. But pretty nice figure. Love the hands, love the sleek design of it. So pick them up if you can get your hands on them. That's it for now. Stay collecting out there, stay hunting, and I will see you on the next one.